Newcastle 2, West Ham United 2. It's a draw. I'm not unhappy with that draw. Thank you to all of you that have joined from Charlie and Tom's watch along, which was also on this channel. I know a lot of you are enjoying the game and enjoying the banter in that. Look, I think it's easy to be frustrated. West Ham were in the lead twice. Surrendered the lead twice, obviously. It is frustrating, particularly with the second goal, because it just seems like you're punching the air and you're celebrating, and then they score so quickly afterwards. And it is gutting, and it is disappointing, but that's a good 2 points. That's a good 2 points. It's a good point. Newcastle are a very good team. Very good team. They are one of the teams that have come back from the enforced hiatus from football with a spring in their step. They've got some really good players. They've got some fast players. And it's probably the most difficult away game, in terms of, I know it's not like going to Anfield, but it's a long distance. It's an uncomfortable place to visit. And we have come away with a point. Should have been 3, but the point we take. Because actually, given the context of everybody else losing, given the context of the fact that is now a clear win ahead of Watford, who are not even in the relegation zone themselves, and actually, it's steady progression, isn't it? It's crap against Wolves. It's a bit better against Tottenham, so on and so forth. And then we do a good performance against Chelsea. And I thought we were a better team then. There was only one team at the end looking to win the game. And that got me a little bit worried. I've got to be honest with you, because when I saw the substitution for Noble coming on, it wasn't, I'll tell you what, it wasn't that Noble was coming on for Lanzini, because I thought Lanzini had been ineffective in a lot of the stuff that he had tried to do. I think it was more the fact of I saw it very much as a defensive substitution. And it did appear to me that there had been some sort of tweak in the formation. I thought we'd gone from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-3-3 at that point. And we did. But actually, I think it was just me being more disappointed, because I was sort of hoping Jack Wilshere would come on and would have that, continue to have that number 10 looking to make things happen. Because today, I thought Lanzini and Fornals, their passing was a little bit off. But even so, with that in mind, they still had an attacking intent. So I think realistically, rather than the actual personnel change, I think I was just a little bit more disappointed that Moyes had decided to almost see the game out at that point. Or so I thought. But shortly after that substitution had been made, we then went on to score a goal. And then, of course, even though he'd made what I would call a more defensive substitution, they went and scored one as well. So anyway, I know I've not gone through this in chronological order, but I've just... Gio's not here today, as you know. I've just pressed publish or record or whatever the button might have been, and I'm just sort of spewing out my thoughts and my feelings after the game. And I'm all right. I feel all right after that. Let me just go through little things, chronological... I can't even say it. Chronological order. Oh, we scored after 3 minutes. I thought it was a really good goal. And Antonio played his part in the build-up, chested it down, brought it down really, really well. Plays in Fornals. As soon as he's played in Fornals, he's gone on his run. Fornals travels a bit with the ball and plays a nice pass. I criticised Fornals earlier on. I thought some of his passing was good, really good. Some of it was quite wasteful. But on this occasion, he got the pass really well. And Bowen was taking up a position that you were not unfamiliar with, of course. It's a position that he had started taking up against Chelsea. And he played the ball over. So Fornals has played him in. Bowen's crossed the ball. Antonio was at the far post. I thought Lascelles misjudged it. But I'm going to give a bit of credit to Bowen here, because I thought Bowen actually pulled it back further than Lascelles was thinking. So it actually went behind him. Antonio reacted more quickly than the Newcastle defender. He was able to pull back and he finished smartly. But again, it was another striker's finish from Antonio in a striker's position, assisted by Bowen again. And you've got to think, I'm very impressed with Bowen. I was impressed with the goal. The goal was a good goal. And it was that same combination again. It was Fornals playing the ball through to Bowen. Bowen gets a crossover. Similar goal against Chelsea, albeit the distancing was slightly different. praise to Antonio, as I say, for taking up the striker's position. Praise to him for reacting quickest. I think Lascelles was probably a little bit off balance, but he was off balance because he misread the cross. Massive praise to Bowen, though. I mean, this kid is a good player. It's another assist. He's going to score goals, this boy, as well, because there was a number of times when I saw that the ball was coming over from the other side, when he would take up a position almost as a striker, and he'd be stood next to Mikel Antonio. He's not scored, since the comeback, but he will get goals, and he'll get assists, and he's getting assists now. Maybe not the flamboyance or the running, let's say, of a Felipe Anderson, but Felipe Anderson's been ineffective. This kid's coming from Hull. He's scoring goals. He's getting assists, lots of them. And I also got to say, which we'll go into in a little bit more detail when we discuss West Ham's second goal. It's nice to be talking about a second goal. West Ham has scored a second goal again. The corner taking was from Bowen's absolutely excellent. I thought the team were well balanced at this point. I thought we'd started brightly. Clearly, we'd gone ahead. But then we seemed to suffer. Actually, so let's give Newcastle some credit. They're a fine team. We highlighted a lot of their players in the build-up, and a lot of those players we highlighted started to play very well. I thought they started to have a lot of possession by this point. And I think it had really, the drinks break sort of couldn't come soon enough. I know, actually, funny enough, after the drinks break did come in the first half, things turned a little bit better. Unfortunately, they did score. And I do think it was an avoidable goal from Newcastle. It came down the flank. And as so many of these things seem to, and I definitely had a feeling before the game that if they were going to do anything, it was going to be from wide areas. I thought we discussed in the build-up show about balls coming in from wide areas, and we'd even discussed about the balls coming in from high. And I thought we'd have enough. We've got enough tall players to deal with that sort of aerial bombardment. The low cross came in though, and I thought, take your pick. I thought either Lanzini or Cresswell could have got out to the wide player a lot quicker to close him down. He had a lot of time to play that ball in, but I also would expect one of those centre backs to cut it out. It didn't do. I thought it was an easy goal. I thought there were several different places and areas where that goal could have been cut out. Almiron scored. And it was 1-0, and it's frustrating from a West Ham point of view. It really is, because we don't seem to be able to hang on to a lead. Fortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to cost us. And it does seem, some of it is our own making. So I thought today was our own making. Some of it is, some of the decisions like we saw against Chelsea are quite harsh against us. But I do think, I'm going to keep saying this, but I think we've got to play into context. Newcastle are a good team. They're not the laughing stock that maybe they've been in previous seasons. Bruce has got them playing very, very well. So Maximum's excellent. Shelby's one hell of a player. And Almiron, I said this before the game, even though he's a bit of a laughing stock, he's a quick player. He's coming into form. And he's a good player. And he popped that away smartly. That being said, after the drinks break, I thought we started to foul quite well. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be annoyed if any Newcastle fans were to say at West Ham are a dirty team. Well, we're not, but I thought today we were. I thought we were fouling. I thought we were niggly. I thought we were physical. I thought we were nasty. But I also thought we had an intent to try and attack. And I loved that. I loved that. It wasn't, I think someone said today we might have had 16, 17 shots. That's a lot of shots. This is not something we're used to seeing from a Moyes West Ham team, certainly. And in fact, if you'd have said, well, actually, it's not the goal scoring you need to take care of, it's probably the defensive side of the game, you wouldn't have thought that would be the case, just a few games ago. So I thought we were gradually getting more and more into it. Just to go through the team a little bit, I thought Fredericks had his second good game. I thought he really did. As I say, I like the attacking intent of having Lanzini and Fornals there. I just think from within their individual roles, they could have produced more. Fornals obviously did. I don't argue with Lanzini coming off first. But I like him putting an attacking player in there. I just wanted to see Wilshere coming on rather than Noble. That being said, It's worked out, and we have got a point. And I like the way he did the substitution early. 56 minutes. That's an early substitution for David Moyes. I thought we had as much of the game as them. I thought the longer the game went on, the more we were handling Saint-Maximin, who's obviously just a fantastic player, really good player. And then we scored on the 67th minute. Now, I like this goal. I may like this goal better than the first one, because the cross from Bowen from the corner is beautiful. It has real curve, real bend, real flight to it. And again, we're seeing consistency. I think we've got a really good player there at whatever, a smidgen under 20 million or whatever we may have paid for him. I think he's a very, very good player. So the ball came over. Declan Rice headed it. That's why I did the mime. Bang. Crashed the ball against the bar. And it rebounded from the bar. Around about where the 6-yard box is, just in case you've not seen it. Soucek sort of pivoted himself on his right foot and twisted. And as it was coming down, a hard skill, he's got a tie on the ball. He couldn't take your after ball. He's basically swept it home. Volley, half volley, whatever you want to call it. As it's rebounded off the bar. He's had to react quickly. He's had to keep his eye on the ball. And he's had to direct it, which is not easy. There were a lot of people stood between him and the goal. And there was one little area where he had to aim for. He hit it low. We scored a goal. And I was absolutely thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. Dancing around. Really, really happy. Sat down, because I got my notes. I got my notes as I always do. Sat down to start to write my notes for the goal, just in case I forget. How could I forget such a fantastic goal? And they scored. And it was a really disappointing goal. A really disappointing goal. I said the first goal was avoidable. This was avoidable as well. Again, it started off wide. Now, what's happened is Fornals has gone into a sort of left-back role to try and help Cresswell out. And he's lazily got back. But what's annoyed me is Fornals clearly knows his responsibility is still to play on side, because the moment the ball's played through and the goal scored, he's got his hand up calling for offside. But if you know that, why are you not in that offside position? Why are you not holding the line? Why didn't you just run and sprint out? Because what happened in the middle was just easy. And I think it was Dwight Gale, possibly, who played the ball to Shelvey. Now, the thing is, Shelvey stood in space, unmarked, where Gale's passed it to him. And I think, if you look back on it, and I would like to see it again, I think the reason that Shelvey is stood unmarked in an offside position is because the centre-back's thinking, he's all right there. He's all right. He's offside. It's not a problem. I don't think Dave noticed that Fornals has completely wrecked the offside trap there. And I guess, why would they? They're going to work on this offside trap all week. And I think if you're a centre-back, you're Ogbonna, you think, okay, Diop's there and Cresswell's there and there's Fredericks. Our line is sound. There's the opposition player over there. Not a problem. A totally avoidable goal. I'm pretty sure people will get their bottom smacked for that one in the... whenever they review it, be it in a video room or on the coach on the way home. Plane, maybe they're flying. I don't know. Whatever. They are gonna. There's things to work on both those goals, and again, it's another indication of us not being able to hold on to a lead. That being said, so this had happened. Both goals had happened after Mark Noble had come on, obviously, as I said. There was then another substitution, and he brought Yarmolenko on. But he didn't do Bowen this time, and I don't blame him, because I wouldn't have taken Bowen off that pitch either. He took Fornals off. So I actually do think those were good substitutions. And Yarmolenko was... I thought he was really good when he came on. He looked sharp. There would have been a time, and in fact, there has been a time when I've said, look, Yarmolenko's just an injury-prone player. He was injured at... what was his... I think he was injured in Kiev. He was certainly injured for a whole season at Dortmund, came over to ours and was injured for pretty much the whole season. His next season with us, he got injured again straight away. I don't think it's speaking out of turn to suggest that Yarmolenko's an injury-prone player. He certainly is. But I look at him now and I think, if you can keep this guy sharp, it's It's his general play. It's the flicks. It's his technique. It's when he picks the ball up, when he's covering Fredericks at right back, for instance. He doesn't just panic and hoof it down the pitch. He'll always pick out the pass. It's just a really, really good player. And as it got towards the end, Newcastle started taking their better players off, started taking Sam Maximan off and so on and so forth. They were happy with a draw. There's no doubt about that. Newcastle were happy with this draw. And you've got to, that's a feather in West Ham's cap, because I know I've said it already 4 times in this video. I'll say it again. Newcastle are a good team. They're one of the better teams in the Premier League since the restart. They've adapted to coronavirus football, or whatever you want to call it, better than most. They've got a motivated team. The players don't know if they're going to be there next season. They've got a motivated owner. Doesn't know, not owner, manager. Doesn't know he's going to be there next season. Might get taken over. Apparently, the new owners would want Rafa back. That's obviously motivating Steve Bruce. He obviously sees that as harsh. Steve Bruce wants to say, "Hold on, I'm the geezer. I can do whatever Rafa Benitez does." My point being that they're a good team, well managed, good players, good team. That's a good point. In a larger context of the league, that's a good point. I mean, I've written a lot of notes down there, but really, I'm pretty chuffed with that. I am pretty chuffed with that one. What else have I put? I've just put, look, exactly what I said there. We were the most likely, my finishing notes are, we were the most likely to score at the end of that game. We were good. We weren't brilliant, but we were good enough. We probably should have won that game. But take some comfort from that, I think, that actually we were good enough to win it, and that's a really, really good sign. I'm happy. I don't know what you lot think. It's easy to feel a little bit down. Easy to feel that we should have done better. It's easy to concentrate on the negatives, which is the defending, which is the avoidable goals. I'm quite sure that Moyes, Nolan, Paul Nevin are going to be looking at that, are going to be addressing that, and they're going to be saying to the team, you cannot keep doing this. You've got to concentrate. It's schoolboy stuff. We all know it. But one thing I'd like to finish on, and one thing I really did like, was even at the end when it was clear that Newcastle probably didn't want, well, we're going to take the point. They were happy with that. We didn't then sit back and say, okay, you want to take the point, we'll take the point. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, basically. We kept on trying to go for the win. Bowen tried to score a goal. Yarmolenko had a fantastic shot. Lovely bit of interplay between himself and Thomas Soucek. I like the intent. It was Newcastle basically said a point is enough for us. We said ain't enough for us. Now, granted, were we smart enough to get the 3 points a day? No, we weren't. We were silly. Schoolboy stuff. But I do think we were skillful enough to get the 3 points. I do think we were committed enough. And I do think we probably deserved a little bit more. But a point will do us. It certainly will. Right, anyway, listen. Apologies for no Geo today. Hopefully I've not completely wrecked the review. Man of the match. I probably should do man of the match, shouldn't I? You know, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Do you know what? Whilst I wrap up and have a think about it, I'd like to just single word answers in the chat there. Let's have your man of the matches in there, please. I'd very much like to hear who you think is. That's really, really interesting. Right, just so you know, we've got several different fan cams coming up on this channel right now. I mean, almost straight away afterwards. We got 2 channels. We also got the forum channel. We got Becky, who's going to be going live. Not live. She's going to be uploading her match reaction on that as well. Again, look at the channel descriptions. The link to both channels are in the... We don't need to link to this channel. You're already here. They're both there. We've got a number of fan cams coming up. Later on, for our patrons, I'll be doing a player ratings, rating all the players out of 10. This is interesting, looking at all who you guys think. Oh, I like it. This is tough, isn't it? It's going to be a tough one to pick this. Anyway, stick with us. All right, stick with us. Lots of content coming up. We're not going to stop from now until the end of the season at Hammers Chat. Even when the season finishes, we won't stop. But we're feeling good. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling more confident. I'm not dead certs to go down at the moment, aren't we? Liverpool warming up at the moment. I don't know warming up. They've started, actually. 20 seconds in against Aston Villa. We know what we want to happen there. It looks like the chat have spoken. It is between Soucek and Bowen. Oh, who am I going to go for? Who am I going to go for? You know, a couple of people said Antonio. Antonio finished well. I don't think Antonio had the barnstorming performance that he had against Chelsea, by the way. And it's quite funny, actually, because he had to work hard against Chelsea because he had so little of the ball. I think the fact that we were better today meant he wasn't required to run around as much as that, but he didn't have to work as hard. I'm gonna go. I'm stuck between Soucek and Bowen, and you lot are just confusing me even more. Somebody, I guess it's Charlie or Tom, have put up a poll in the chat, which I'll be interested in, actually. Yeah, go on, vote for your man of the match. Click on that poll. Be really interested to see who that is. It's clear there's two main contenders. Great goal from Bowen. Great goal from Soucek. Really good play from Bowen, involved in both goals, maybe. I'm gonna go. You've made me indecisive in the chat. You see, I should have blocked it off. Just gone with my instinct. I am going to go with my instinct. I'm going to go with Jared Bowen today. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, but close run thing. James has said, Rice, James, for once, I'm not going to give it to Rice. Say for once, I gave it to a Bonnet in the last game. But Rice's numbers are up there, and I'm pleased. I feel I shouldn't. I feel I've almost got to be apologetic for my pleasure, if you pardon the expression. I feel like I've got to be almost apologetic for being pleased with a draw, but I am. I'm going to watch the rest of this football now. I'm going to upload some Your Fine Folks videos. People, if you are sending videos in, we'll get them up. You know, you are able to send us videos. Hopefully, you've seen on both our channels. We've got a lot of fan content going up. So give us your reactions. If you don't just want to type it in the chat, you want to get your phone out, film yourself, then send it in to hammerschat@gmail.com. You can do that via WeTransfer or any of the other ways. We will publish your video. Lots of people have done it. What do we have? I've had 10 or 15 videos for the last game from fans sending them in. You're very welcome. We like to hear what you say, and so do the rest of the fans. So, hopefully you're as happy as me. Hopefully you're not thinking, what's that geezer buzzing about? That was an atrocious performance. I thought it was all right. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't done already. And hopefully, West Ham fans, maybe even Newcastle fans as well, enjoy the rest of your Sunday.